Okay, well, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm just going to be respectful of everybody's time and let's get started. We are really happy to have you all with us today. We haven't had an annual member meeting in a little while, and we thought it would be a good time for us to really share with all of you what CAMEO has been up to and where we are, as well as talk a little bit more about what is coming. So we're going to have a really packed agenda today, but I want to get us started introducing you all to our CAMEO's board president for some welcoming remarks. So I'll turn it over to you, Yessi.
Thank you, Carolina. So good to be on today's annual member meeting. And I always love looking at the people who are joining and seeing the big names of small business and minority business development there, micro enterprise development. It's so good to see all of you today. I just really want to quickly say just a few words of welcome. As we all know, it takes a village and an ecosystem to help small businesses get through, the myriad of issues that we're facing these days, especially during the COVID pandemic. I know all of you have played a big part in helping small businesses make their way through some very difficult times. So I just wanted to just give my appreciation for all of you, for all your hard work, for everything you're doing for our small businesses now and into the future in the coming year. Also just want to give a big appreciation to the CAMEO team who has worked extremely hard during some very tough times and have done it really successfully, and kudos to Carolina for her leadership. But with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Carolina because I know we have a very busy agenda. So Carolina, I'm going to turn it back to you.
Thank you so much, Jesse, and thank you so much for your leadership and everybody at the board. You've been such a champions for small businesses and helping us guide through this process. So we really appreciate that. So I'm just going to go over the agenda at this point. We thought we should start with a few minutes of networking just to get to know somebody or talk to or catch up with an old friend here. So we're going to be breaking in some rooms for 5 minutes to talk. But we also, after that, we're going to be sharing with all of you the achievements of CAMEO during this year. We would like to present to you some advocacy update, and we want to share with you some updates from our board of directors. So just to get us started, just get right into it. We're going to be if we can go to the next slide, Rajay, thank you. We're going to be starting with the small group networking. So you are going to be placed randomly into rooms. And the idea is for you to share your name, your title, where are you located, what's your organization, and maybe share what are one or two things that you're most excited about for 2022. So we really want to get started with a little bit of connection. I know we're not able to meet in person just yet, but we definitely want to leave some space for all of us at the CAMEO family to connect. So Lisa, are you breaking now the rooms?
Yep, they're open.
Great. So please click join and we'll see you in 5 minutes. So people back. So I hope you enjoy your little networking session. I got to catch up with an old friend. That's great. So it's good for us to kind of get started. We're trying to do some networking. We always like to take those moments, and hopefully you got to share ideas or catch up at this 5 minutes. So we wanted to share with all of you what CAMEO has been up to. So I like that, Jen. I know it's not long enough. Hopefully we'll have more time later. But we have so much to tell you. So we're going to try to be super concrete and share like high level items that we've been working on. We want to make sure that one of the things that we've heard from all our members is sometimes we work with some of you in one area or another, but it's very rare that somebody really understands all the spectrum of services that we are providing currently and what is happening with CAMEO. So throughout these couple of years, you've seen us participate in several programs and in several venues, and we wanted to share a few things. And I think one of the achievements for 2021 that I'm most proud of, I have to say, is that CAMEO has grown. So we do have 4 new staff members in 2021. That is a lot. We're so excited. And I wanted to just share that with you. That's what we were trying to figure out, the raising hand venue here. So if you could all add this and new staff members raise their hand, would be great. We have Lisa Rivera, who you've talked to several times. She's our program manager. She's based in LA. She's been working with a lot of you, or the majority of you, in all our programmatic efforts. And we also have like a little bit more working more on the back end, right? Like in the operations side. So we have Roger Connolly. So Roger, I can't see her, but I hope you have your hand up. And actually, if Lisa, if you could remove the spotlight, maybe we can see all the gallery.
Yeah, I did. Stop share, Roger.
There we go. So you can see, and then so Roger had, they both joined us in April this year. They were able to, Roger is more focused in operations and is working more with me more on membership and fundraising. We also have Joan Johnson, who's our finance manager, and she's our first out-of-state employee, right? So she's based in Arizona. And we're really happy to have her helping us with all the financials and all the human resources aspect. And our newest addition is Addison Peterson, who he joined us literally, I don't even think it's been a month, to really work with us as a policy specialist. So he is going to be working full-time in our advocacy efforts and policy, and we can't be more proud. I mean, this is something that CAMEO's network has been discussing. All our members have shared how important our advocacy efforts are and how valuable. And we've always tried to kind of increase our resources and our own capacity to be able to provide more on that aspect. So we are really happy to have Addison joining us to support those efforts. And of course, I mean, you'll see Heidi Pickman and Emily Gassner also join us. I mean, they've been so great supporting us. Heidi's been focusing more on advocacy and member engagement, and Emily shifted her responsibilities this year to lead our Cdfi incubator, who is going to be continuing to grow. And that's one of the things that I'm also very excited about. So we wanted just for all of you to put some faces, even though not in person yet, but at least here in our little boxes of box, or how Heidi calls it, like in Zoomlandia. We wanted you to kind of get to know all of us, right? As you probably remember, we were 3 not long ago. So now we are 7 people in the staff. That is one of the biggest achievements for CAMEO. We've been really focusing, continue to provide support to all of you. So thank you to the staff. And then if you need anything on those areas, feel free to reach out to them and reach them out directly. We've also been growing in our membership. Oh, thank you, Heidi. And I think if you'd like to put your emails in the chat for the staff, it would be great, so you can, everybody in attendance could reach out. So we've grown also in our network, right? So we have 12 new members in 2021 to bring us up to a total of 346 members. That was a big number for me when I got that one. We've definitely strengthened our network. We've had a very diverse group of CAMEO members. This definitely is a network. And as we were saying, it takes a village. It does take a network to help the small businesses. So we are very excited to be able to strengthen that network, and being able to have such a diverse group really allows to connect with the whole ecosystem that the small businesses need, and especially at these times, right? Like when they need such a variety of services, and we do have them during the throughout the network. So just take advantage of it. Join me welcoming these new member organizations. You're going to be getting this presentation as an afterward afterwards in the follow-up email. So we are putting their websites in there for you to visit them and learn more about them. We are very excited. They join all the very strong and amazing network that we currently have. So that is another of the big achievements of 2021. So in terms of our impact, as you all know, CAMEO has focused on 4 areas of work: our advocacy, our fostering ecosystems, the CAMEO Academy, and the Cdfi Incubator. So we wanted to share with you really briefly what we've been up to in these areas. For example, like CAMEO Academy is a lot of the it's a lot of the webinars that you've been receiving, invitations that you've been attending and joining. It's a lot of the trainers that CAMEO has put together. And we have seen, obviously we shared with you in 2020 that there was like a big increase in the number of registrants and attendees. But that number didn't necessarily slow down in 2021. So we want to share, Rajay, if you go to the next slide, that we put together in 2021 so far 55 webinars with over 2,000 people registering for it. And we do have a pretty high attendance rate. So it's almost 80% participation. That's pretty good. Nowadays in Zoom, when people tend to register for everything and not necessarily show up. So we are very proud of that, and that speaks volumes about the topics that we are picking and how relevant they are for you. We have mentioned in every single event we are, and we continue to reinforce the idea, if you have topics or areas that you would like to learn more, or that your team, your consultants, or your colleagues would feel that there is more information needed, feel free to reach out. We are truly focusing providing the right information and the right training for all of you, how we could make your life easier. So this is a really good turnout and really good aspect of the work that we do. We are also working very closely in fostering ecosystems. And what that means is we know that we cannot do all that the small businesses need by ourselves. And that is the concept of our network, our ecosystem. How could we really connect more with our partners, with our colleagues by region or throughout the state, and really leverage each other's strengths. So we were able to put 16 regional meetings together during 2021. We also hosted 7 listening sessions. There has been a big effort put in Los Angeles County with our Entrepreneurship Advantage initiative. But we are also really constantly listening to your needs, your challenges. And that is the information that we are able to share with key players, right? Like with legislators or with partners or with even donors, funders that might be interested in learning more about our industry. So, and also it's the information that we use to put together the programs in our CAMEO Academy. So we are very excited to be able to join. It's been great to see you all in your regions and also to be able to put together statewide initiatives. And hope you've actually been able to join us at them and really take advantage of that as you connect with other organizations in your region. And this fostering ecosystems, we've also been continue to participate in several collaborations or collaboratives that have been in existence throughout the state. So I think I had shared this to some of you. We are seeing a lot of coalitions and collaboratives starting throughout the state that are really focused in different areas of entrepreneurship. And we've been very fortunate and privileged to be able to partner with, I would say, pretty much everyone on there. And we wanted to put a few of them in this slide for you to be aware. Entrepreneurship Advantage, I mentioned a little bit earlier, is our LA County program, where we're really providing a little bit more of meetups and connections and opportunities. And we're going to be working a little bit more on how to connect help our members in LA and the LA County participants in the Entrepreneurship Advantage to connect with the right resources. So if you are in LA County and you're interested in learning more about this, feel free to reach out to Lisa. She's in LA initiative particularly, or just let us know if you are and share more. We're also working with Levantando Nuestras Voces, raising our voices, that it is a collaborative that really is focusing in Latina entrepreneurs. It started in the Bay Area, now it has organizations throughout the state. And so we're providing support to that. We are participating, also with the California Coalition for Community Investment, which is, CDFI coalition that not only includes the ones from our network that are serving as small businesses, but also includes housing, affordable housing CDFIs, commercial CDFIs, all the CDFIs throughout the state, and it's with a focus in advocacy to find resources for them. So if you're interested in that, also let us know. We've been participating and continue to do in the California Rebuilding Fund that I'll talk in a minute. And but also participating in the Small Business Coalition for Racial Justice is how are we really including the diversity, equity, and inclusion component into the work that we are doing. The LA County Initiative for Inclusive Small Businesses, also in LA County, and we've been hosting at the Jetty a Small Business Roundtable every month, where we really discuss economic development opportunities. So as you see, there is a lot, and we're trying to really be there to bring the voice of all our network, and also to make sure that we're bringing what these collaboratives are doing to all of you. We're always there to support all of us collaborations and coalitions and networks. We should really leverage each other's strengths. So that's what our position has been with them. And it's been really great to see so many of our members taking advantage of that. So we wanted to share with you a little bit about a couple of initiatives, especially that we've been working a lot. In 2021, obviously, there was a big effort to support the state's initiative for a small business relief grant. We were able to partner with the intermediary the state selected as many of our network members, but we worked very specifically with smaller organizations. So we did put together a smaller cohort of 16 organizations that were able to reach certain communities throughout the state that might not necessarily have like big numbers to grant a direct partnership, but they were definitely important to be reached out. We were able to provide subgrants between $15,000 and $25,000 to support the application process. They were obviously, we hosted and facilitated the partner meetings, and we co-facilitated with the with Lendustry and who was the intermediary, weekly meetings for grant partners. So a lot of the efforts to help with the trainer to really make sure that everybody participating was aware and clear about what were the needs and how to guide the small businesses in the application was important for us. A lot of feedback about it, and everything that we were hearing from all of you, we were able to bring to the table. With this program, just our 16 organizations, and you want to be very clear about it, just our organizations were able to assist almost 3,500 small businesses that were looking for information about this, and were able to submit roughly 400 applications on behalf of applicants. So helping them through the process was very important. And these organizations were very focused on like Native communities, women-owned, entrepreneurs of color, rural communities. So we were very happy to be able to facilitate this. The other initiative that we've been very involved has been the California Rebuilding Fund. We do have, if you could go back one slide, 2 slides, Roger, thank you. As you know, several of the lenders in our network are participating in this Rebuilding Fund. We've been connecting with them to support the lenders as well as to assess if there is a need for new ones. I know they're still vetting the possibility of adding a couple more at least. But once that was launched, and we continue to be actively discussing how else we could provide support, doing outreach to get the word about small businesses, the word about this fund to small businesses that might still need capital to navigate the recovery. But we have also been taken into the role of supporting the small businesses that have been on match, right? So as you know, this program focusing in matching small businesses looking for capital with lenders that based on the characteristics they include in the initial questionnaire. But some of them might not qualify to be matched with any of the lenders. And we want to make sure that we are leveraging the very strong and robust ecosystem that we have. And we were able to partner with 23 CAMEO members that are providing technical assistance. And we are still getting a little bit of a cadence into how we could really reach out those small businesses. So far, we've been able to help 53 entrepreneurs with that additional support. And we are looking to see if, as the program continues evolving and as we are kind of working to finalize details in this process, we're able to grow these numbers. So this works more like a client lead generation for the organizations. We just are able to, once they're on match, we just ask the client if they need any additional technical assistance. And if they do, we connect them and refer them to the participating organizations. It does seem like fairly easy, has not been because of some privacy laws in California. So it does have a little bit of challenges in the back end to make that referral work. But we are committed to continue focusing on support these small businesses. We know that if they requested capital from the fund, they're still needing support. And we want to make sure that they are connected with the right source for that. So definitely interested on that. And with that, I'll just stop and I'll turn it over to Emily Gassner to talk a little bit about what we've done in the Cdfi Incubator.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Carolina. Okay, so my name is Emily Gassner. I'm the VP of Strategic Initiatives and the Director of CAMEO's Cdfi Incubator. And this year, we're actually rolling out a lot of cool new graphics and branding related to the incubator and messaging related to it. So you'll see it throughout the presentation. We offered our Microlending Essentials class, which is an underwriting class for practitioners and TA providers. We offered 3 of them in 2021. Each one is a 5-day class, and trained over 56 staff from 33 organizations, and of which 5 were actually out of state. And we're seeing a lot more demand for our Cdfi incubator services from out of state. Also, our Microlenders Forum, and I just have a quick question. Am I being spotlighted right now? Okay, yeah. Great. Okay, thank you. I couldn't actually tell. The Microlender Forum, which is our annual convening, we were so proud to bring that back this year. Our in-person had been canceled last year due to COVID, but we're able to do it via Zoom this year with 150 practitioners, partners, and funders talking about all the most important topics related to lending and COVID relief and racial justice. And of the 42 CDFIs that joined us, 16 of them were actually from out of state. Next slide, please. And the Cdfi Incubator overall, just to mention, is a robust set of services, training, and resources for everything that both new CDFIs need in order to get up and running and to be able to scale their impact to entrepreneurs of color, but also for existing CDFIs that might need additional training for new staff as new staff come on, or need updates on current topical things in the industry. Our Cdfi Essentials is our year-long, very kind of robust, holistic training and peer learning group. We had 11 sessions monthly this year with 8 different organizations, training 19 staff, with 4 being from out of state. And then we launched our first ever loan loss reserve grants in partnership with Union Bank, whereby we provided $45,000 in grants to 4 different CDFIs specifically to increase their impact in lending to entrepreneurs of color. Next slide, please. Thank you. And we continue to be on the forefront of assisting our CDFIs with their lending technology needs, both with our newer cohort and lending front of 4 different lenders, as well as in MMS, where we have 2 lenders, and they're using these technologies to be able to scale their services and have online access for all of their lending for their businesses. And we're continuing to look at new ways that we can provide technology options to our members. And heads up, on December 8th, we're going to have a Lender Fit webinar. So you can find that on our website. Next slide, please. And then in terms of our impact fund in the CDFI incubator, we're really proud that we have deployed $600,000 in investments to 4 different CDFIs to be able to scale their lending, specifically for them to use for lending capital. And the reason why is because it's really hard for newer and emerging CDFIs that have less of a track record to be able to access the more traditional sources of lending capital for micro lending, such as bank CRA dollars, foundation PRIs, and of course the CDFI fund and SBA microloan program. One of our borrowers fully repaid successfully their loan this year, and we've approved a new loan for $180,000, which we're excited about. And we just have some great increases year over year related to the amount, the dollars, and the number of loans that are being made. And in terms of our infrastructure, we're building that out for lending as well. We were just approved for our second CDFI fund TA grant. Really excited about that, the $125,000 to be able to build our capacity. And we're applying for our California lender's license. And we're also on our pathway to becoming a CDFI ourselves. So we'll be applying for that in 2022. Next slide, please. And that's it for me. Thanks, everybody. The last thing I just wanted to mention was I really encourage you, if your CDFI or lending organization has any needs whatsoever in terms of training, please reach out to me. I'll pop my email again into the chat, but would really love to be of assistance in any way I can. Thanks so much.
Hi, everyone. I'm Heidi Pickman. I am the VP of Engagement and External Relations, which many times means I deal a lot with policy. And I think I know most of you on the call. And if you don't, I'm looking forward to meeting with you and connecting with you in the near future. But as I actually look at the list, I think I do know most of you. So hello, and it's really great to see you. Just wanted to give you some of the exciting things that happened this year and just kind of highlight this. And it's all due to everybody's efforts and everybody raising their hand and everybody saying, yes, include me. One is there was a historic $4 billion in small business grants given out to small business owners. This hasn't happened before. I know we're in unprecedented times, but I just wanted to point out that at least I haven't seen it in the 10 years that I've been here. And from the people that I've talked to, it's like, I remember early days, it's like small business grants don't exist, and they really don't. Except for in the last couple of years because of the pandemic. Additionally, some of our members got together and waved the flag and said, hey, the small business grants really aren't hitting our populations, and seeded the idea of a street vendor fund, which became a micro business relief fund for those smaller businesses who really were not eligible to apply for the California Relief Grant. So that is another huge highlight, is people recognize and the legislators recognize that there needs to be some more flexibility in terms of things. These are huge wins I can't even tell you, like, people finally get what we're talking about, get the importance of small business, get the importance of the micro businesses, and are actually putting resources to it. So I just wanted to highlight that because that's something that we were banging our heads against the wall, felt like, for before that. The other huge wins we're having in the state policy arena, as well as some in the federal arena, as you'll see a little bit later, is in the responsible business lending space. Many of you have been with us for several years. SB 1235 was passed at the end of 2018. And we are now finally 3 years later, we're looking forward to final regulations coming out. We're pretty happy with the way the regulations are written. And then the other piece to that is that the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation did put forth the first issuance of regulations on what's called UDAP, that's unfair, deceptive, and abusive acts and practices. And that was to define those for small businesses. Now, this is unprecedented. Usually small businesses aren't necessarily covered under those laws. It is the federal law that covers consumer protections. But with the passage of the new Department of Financial Protection and Innovation last year that we worked hard on with the consumers, we made the argument to them. They bought the legal arguments, and then they issued the regulations. It was actually an amazingly smooth ride. We'll see how it turns out with the writing of the regulations, but this is historic. These protections don't exist for small businesses across the country. California was the first in the nation for the 1235 regulations, and that's a transparency law. That means tell us, let the small business owner see exactly how much their loans are going to cost, and pretty historic. And New York is the only other state to pass, and they did it this year, so that's really excited. CAMEO's been participating in lots of conversations, so I'm gonna, Carolina mentioned some of them of the coalitions. We're also involved in a couple of national coalitions. But we're trying to get the word out, get the importance of micro business, make sure that those that our sector is included in economic development conversations and in policy conversations. And it's really been exciting work to do over the last couple of years. Next slide, please. Just do want to highlight our Advocacy Day. It was virtual this year. We're hoping to we had great attendance. We had fantastic guests. Mark Madrid shared a really personal story about his father and his family members that were small business owners. We had 18 meetings with legislators and staff, and we want to do a special shout out to Senator Monique Limon and Assembly Member Katri Petrie Norris, who have been very, very, very good friends of CAMEO in the small business world, and they get it. We're looking forward to working with them next year. And thanks to all of you who met with the legislator and the legislative staff. It's really, really, really important. Next slide. Yep, thanks. This year, what we're going to be working on, Addison, as you met earlier, he's going to really double down with our relationship building and help all of you conduct district meetings. So we're really excited for that. We're going to be working on a state CDFI fund, as well as supporting small business contracting and codifying the TAPE program, which I know everybody is really interested in, working with our partners across the state on these issues. And then just in case the state application for SSBCI doesn't turn out to be exactly what we want, we might need to make some tweaks to it. And of course, we're paying attention to commercial back rent issues. If there's any other things that you think that we should be paying attention, please do please do let us know. And I will put into chat when I'm done the summary of what happened. Forgot to mention on our advocacy day, the summary of the bills that we advocated for over the year and what happened to them. So you can kind of take a look, because we supported a lot more bills than I have time to go on. Next slide, please. Just a little note to we're also active in the federal space. So I think there might be a couple of people on from Madison Services Group. I want to thank them for their all their efforts. Ann, Liz, Eliza, they've been great partners on the federal side. So I want to give a shout out to them. These are just some of the things that have happened. We are still working on federal appropriations. We're very interested in making sure the SBA direct lending isn't competing with you all. So we're talking to SBA about that. Also, as I mentioned earlier, there was some news on the federal front with the Truth in Lending, is that there was a federal Truth in Lending bill introduced a couple of weeks ago. It was bipartisan, bicameral, so once in the Senate and one in the House. I think that means it's together. So that's really exciting. We'll be definitely supporting that effort, as well as Dodd-Frank data collection rules that you can't prove that there's discrimination in lending unless you have the data. We all have the anecdotes, but until you can actually prove it, it doesn't exist, right? That is, well, we know it exists, but so we're really interested and excited that the CFPB has put forth a 900-page document of the collection rules, which is pretty hefty, and we hope that you guys will be signing letters of support as well, and we'll be making sure you get copies of those, so you can chime in. I just want to say all this policy activity wouldn't be possible, one, without you, and two, without your data. So if you haven't, by any chance, I think we could pop the link into chat. If your organization has not filled out our annual survey, this is for 2020, please do. If you don't know whether or not it has, you can contact Rajay. She'll let you know. It's really important that we have the data so we can make the argument that the work we do is impactful and helps our small businesses. Next slide, please. I just wanted to do a brief summary and just tell you that we have been out and about talking to the press. We hired EMC this year, EMC Communications. They also work with some of the other small business groups. We've done some stellar work, hitting more than 2 million viewers in various venues, some high profile, and we're starting to build really good relationships with some of the reporters. Carolina's been doing a great job on TV. They love her. We've gotten some op-eds published. So just wanted to let you know that that's going on and that's out there. We do feature those in our must know, and this helps us with our advocacy efforts. This helps us with all sorts of things. So it helps us with a little bit with fundraising, so we can raise the funds so we can continue to do the good work. And with that, I think I either pass it back to Carolina or
yes. Yeah, no, thank you, Heidi. So we wanted to, as this is our annual meeting, and we wanted to really share with you all a little bit about how we are doing financially too. We know that as all of you have experienced and not typical years, the past couple of years, we've had a lot of 2020 became like a very concerned about finding funding for us and for all our members, to a 2021 where we saw a lot of specific programs for relief that were probably one time. But we want to make sure that everybody has a little bit of an idea of where we are as an organization. It was not a typical year. We're not expecting it to be like this for 2022, but I think we've continued to develop partnerships to do that. So I'm just going to turn it over to Joan to give you a brief overview of where we are in our financials. Joan, take it away. You're muted, Joan.
Okay, thank you. Okay, good morning. So I'm Joan Johnson, and I am the new Finance and Operations Manager. I came on board in July, so I've got 5 months under my belt. And I wanted to give, as Carolina mentioned, a high-level picture of where we are. So first, we're looking at the statement of financial position, also known in the for-profit world as your balance sheet. I wanted to call out our bank balance. We have almost $2 million in the bank, and accounts receivable at $380,000 as of the end of September was high for our organization. $360,000 of that was comprised of 2 receivables. One was the Lendistry funding, and the other was from the Kauffman Foundation, which we'll receive in 2022. And then on the liability side, we did the bulk of our membership invoicing in the fall, in August and September, and the $16,000, and it totaled about $30,000, and we have about half of that left to collect. We also have a $500,000 line of credit with Capital One. That's the money that we use to loan out with the Impact Fund. And Emily is working with them to renegotiate that for another 3 years. So our assets and liabilities are $2.6 million. We feel that we did a really nice job. We have a healthy statement of financial position. And to give you a little bit of perspective, it was 1.8 at the beginning of the year. So we've grown by about 800,000. Next slide, please. Okay, and then here is a little bit of our P&L, just a couple lines excerpted out for you to look at. So our revenues as of the end of September are 2.4 million. And that's compared to a budget of 1.5. So we exceeded revenue for the 9 months by 865,000 or 57%. Our expenses were a bit over budget, 1.4 million of expenses. We were 75,000 over budget or 6% over budget. And we have a change in net assets or surplus or profit of 963,000. Versus a budget of 173,000. So we've exceeded budget by 790,000 or 456%. And all of that money has gone into reserves. So we're just really, really pleased with how this year went. And as we've all been talking up till now, there was a lot of government and also corporate money available to help organizations and not-for-profits weather the pandemic. So we don't expect all this funding to be around next year, but we're happy we were able to capitalize and get a large portion of it, and also then to bring a lot of it to our bottom line and have it as reserves going forward. Now, if you look at how we did last year, we doubled our revenue last year, more than doubled it. We went from 2.4 in 9 months from $1 million at the same time last year in September. Expenses were 572,000 more than they were last year. And we exceeded our profit from last year by 405% or $772,000. So we feel really good about this. I mentioned that we've gotten the payment from our Lendistry partner, and our payments to our sub-grantees, our last round is going out next week. $192,000 of payments are going out for you to continue to do the good work reaching the members throughout the state. Are there any questions for me?
I don't think, John, that we have time for questions, but if you do,
Okay.
we'll move on to the next time. But if you do have any questions, feel free. We've been busy to really raise funds. The majority of the funding has come out as sub grants as well for our members. So I guess you've been seeing more and more like RFPs or call to apply for grants. I think Emily mentioned a couple ones, and there is actually a couple more, that are coming out right now. And they'll be coming in the follow-up email for all of you to be on the lookout. So we're happy to be able to use take the relationships and the opportunities we are seeing to continue supporting our network. And with that, we wanted to continue sharing with you what are our plans for 22. And it feels like I personally can't believe I'm talking about 2022. It feels like very much, but it's we're heading. So we've been able to continue into what our goals are, and we're going to be focusing in 3 areas. We're going to be really supporting our CDFI incubator. Emily shared with all of you a lot of what our plans are to really support nascent lenders and continue helping them build their lending infrastructure, and also our internal infrastructure to be able to serve you. So that is going to be a big piece. But one of the ones that I'm more excited about is how much we're going to be focusing in advocacy. Heidi also mentioned that we're going to be having several initiatives that we want to track. We are having a little bit more resources this and the coming year to be able to do that. And we are very excited about that. And we do have a lot of partnership opportunities. We are looking to continue playing the role that we've been able to play for during these past years, to really be a convener, to really be that back-end organization that helps you all really focus on what you do best. So we're going to be talking a lot of details on that later, but we want to tell you we have a lot of exciting plans for 2022 that we will be sharing. And that would not be possible, and I think I mentioned this at the beginning of the meeting, without all of you, but also without such a great board of directors that we do have. And I want to take a moment to thank our 4 outgoing board members. So, you know, we currently have 15 board members in our board of directors. It's a very diverse and very rich group of professionals that have helped us navigate all of this changing times. And we are very sad to see Ronnie Crozier-Lager from Optima Entrepreneur Cooperative, I don't know if I can say it, Devin McAlpin, that has been with us for so many years as our treasurer, is terming off this year. Vincent McCoy, I think I saw him here in the call. Thank you so much for all your feedback and also many years with us. He's also terming off. And Chuck Eason with the California Community College's Economic and Workforce Development Program is also leaving us this year. We want to really thank you. We appreciate all the work you've done with CAMEO, and we wish you the best, and we hope to stay connected. But that, and even though we're very sad to see them go, we're on the flip side very happy to see our upcoming and incoming new board members that we want to introduce you all. First, I want to thank the membership for voting online for them. So as you know, we hosted elections back in, I believe, October, November. The results were ratified by our board in November. And we're very excited to welcome in January these 4 new board members. I know not all of them were able to join us today, but I want to give a minute to each of the ones that are here. I think, Randy, you are with us. If you want to introduce to the membership really quickly.
Sure. Randy Zeller, former life as a lawyer, got interested and started working with Carolina and the rest of the case task force on the California Rebuilding Fund. which was kind of life-changing for me. I'm now passionate about small business and believe it is the path to social and income equality in this country. And after CAMEO, I am now working with a company called Mcqueen, creating a small business banking product to serve the under and unbanked, and hopefully connect them to a lot of you to get capital in the future.
Thank you, Randy. We also have Nikita Poindexter.
Hi, thank you. So it's a pleasure and honor to be with you this morning. I'm Nikita Poindexter, and it never fails that as soon as I start, my office phone rings. I own a human resource consulting firm that is headquartered here in Temecula, California. I'm honored and privileged to be working with the board. So many of our clients are in desperate need of funding, and so CAMEO is always going to be the direction that I point them in. We will be celebrating our 22nd year in business in January, so understand the complexities of being a small business owner and how do we navigate through it. So again, thank you, and it's a pleasure to meet you, and I'm looking forward to working with you.
Thank you so much, Nikita. And we have Naima too, right? Naima Mcqueen from the Alliance for Community Development.
Good morning, almost afternoon. My name is Naima Mcqueen. I'm the Executive Director for Alliance for Community Development here in the San Francisco Bay Area. I have been in the Executive Director position for a little over a year and a half, with the organization for about 3 years, but engaged with CAMEO since I moved out here about 5.5 years ago. So I am thrilled to be able to deepen my partnership and relationship with not only the CAMEO board members, but CAMEO overall. I feel a lot of love for this network and this group. So very honored. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much. And I think the majority of you know about Dev Burke from Access Plus Capital. Unfortunately, he couldn't join us today, but we also welcome to our 4 new board members. We can't wait to start working with all of you in January. And we also wanted to let you all know about our incoming executive committee. So we're very excited to continue having Jesse Torres as our president, but we were thrilled to welcome Jerry Olivares from the Fresno Area Hispanic Foundation as our vice president, and Mark Herbert from Small Business Majority as our secretary, and Horacio Mendez, who you all know here in California, but is now in Chicago at the Woodstock Institute as our treasurer. So we are very excited and I can't wait to kind of get all the work started for next year with this amazing board of directors. So I really want to share with all of you like who they are. If you don't know them, the majority of them have been really with the network and supporting them for a long time. And with that, all it's left to do really is just to thank you all for all the work that you're doing. We couldn't have done any of all the work, all the programs, all the advocacy, all the efforts without you as our members, without the funders that have really supported us, and obviously the government that have all supported. And we are looking to do a lot more in 2022. So there is a lot of events that are coming. There's never a dull moment at CAMEO. You probably see that in our weekly newsletter. So in the follow-up, please, we are sending this presentation, and we are also adding like new events coming up, new opportunities for funding, also some that we are really excited about to really help our communities of color, especially with like translation and digital literacy. So be in the lookout for the follow-up email, and feel free to reach out to any of us at CAMEO if you have any additional questions or any comments. But we are really thankful for all of you for the work that you've been doing to support small businesses throughout these very difficult times. And we can't wait to continue representing you, continue helping you, supporting you, and we are here for you. So we are very happy to have such an amazing network of organizations and consultants and people in general throughout California supporting our micro businesses. So thank you so much for joining us today. And we wish everybody great holiday season. Hope you get some rest and you are able to recharge for what's coming in 2022. And we are looking forward to talk to all of you in the new year. Thank you.